In what ways can violence in school be addressed? First, you have to separate the problematic schools and the schools that have the high statistic of violence and mayhem. For the problematic schools, you need to get fundraising, because if you're going to introduce conflict resolution or parent workshop, you have to have funding. So whatever fundraising method you can engage in, you have to get that going, because if you're going to get therapists on board, you're going to get working professionals on board to give professional training, feedback, and teaching. They need to be compensated accordingly, unless of course you're going to volunteer. Once you've gotten your fundraising effort underway and you have your money and you have your resources, you have your people resources, you have booklet, whatever resource you have, because you have to have material to teach people, then you're going to implement workshop. Not just workshop for children, but you need workshop for adults, because oftentimes some of these kids, they are wayward because the home is broken. So you need to have parental workshop, get feedback, look at the problematic homes, and see what practical application you can put in place. Sometimes it is where you need intervention in the home. Maybe the kids are being batter bruised by the father, batter bruised by the mother, rushed by the mother. You need to tell, you have to have workshop to teach parents how to cope as parents. You can't talk to your kids certain way, whatever it is, that type of thingy. Then you also need workshop for these problematic kids that get in a trouble and in a fight. Teach them conflict resolution, find out what is going on, see how is it that they view people, how is it that they view life, that type of thingy. I hear people talking about lock down the school, lock it back. Lock back the school cannot deal with the hearts of these children. You have to see what is the root. Why is it that you feel like you must stab up the person? Yeah, like the video that I saw with the girl, was a stab the girl. What kind of rage you full of, so girl? What is going on? Are you angry? Do you have some other underlying issue going on with you? Because I can't the girl alone, you're just angry at. You must be angry at life if you just lash out like that. So we need social intervention programs for parents, definitely for the children, and even for onlookers. So children who come from decent home with them know to deal with conflict, witnessing this, they also need workshop. How to deal with this thing, how to cope with this thing,
In my view, how you go curb violence in the schools when you at the after champs parade, them have people like Jashi and Iwat and Intense and them kind of DJ there, DJ to them kids there. And the man they appear foolish system DJ be here scamming and and violence them on the sing bout. So right off the bat that's the government now set no example. Some of them youth there when have the head for books or no want go school, the government should look into open some military style reform school and put some of them inside teach them to do a trade. Make soldier get up every morning and run them and give them something to do like go grow crops and something like that and then them go to school after and learn a trade or something like that.
Man, in my views, hope you're blessed, I hope the family blessed. Big up yourself. See, because I grew up in the 70s, 80s, my views might have seemed a bit archaic. When I go to high school, we used to get beaten with cane, Teachers could have lick. And I'm not saying that because of that, the discipline was much better. But it helped. The answer to that question is multifaceted because discipline starts from the home, even though environmental factors affect kids. We're living in a time where social media have a great influence on kids, where new games, video games, research show that video games have multiple psychological effect on kids. Whole heap of different. So if we identify what the problems are, then we probably can find the solutions. My mother has been a career teacher and a lecturer, so in her time when me I go link her, me knows how strict she was, me know what limits she did have, can lick the kids or how them used to have. When you go and see teachers, them days, the teachers look like teachers. Now, you go in a school and see teachers, especially females, them look like some little girl where I got some dance. And I think that means a lot because your role, if you're going to teach people, then how you present yourself and how you look are going to have some form of meaningful effect. But separate and apart from that, Bridging, the main ways when I think violence in school can be addressed is for implement systems that consistently bring consequences to students when them do wrong. So disciplinary system, when them become inconsistent, them become less effective. And I think many schools in Jamaica don't have a consistent discipline system. A lot of things what them say is not what them do, and them sway with them discipline. That's my understanding from it. So it's all about consequences. What sort of rules the schools adhere to, what sort of discipline procedures, and how strongly them hold these sort of discipline procedures, whether it be security at the gate for prevent knife crime, whether it be serious expulsion because of knife and fighting, whether it be strict dress codes, and then you implement that in the system so that especially the teachers them have a no-nonsense approach to indiscipline, to antisocial behavior, So, I mean, fundamentally, it have to be a no-nonsense approach to discipline, period. And consistent disciplinary procedures, consistent consequences, severe consequences for antisocial behavior. And that is one. I think there are many, but may I give other people a chance for say that. But that are my main one. Consistent approach to discipline and the consequences for disciplinary procedures. Yeah.
It can't be any one fix. It's going to need a combination of intervention, similar to the rest of the society.
One way I know you deal with violence, and that with disciplinary action. If you can't discipline, then I think you can address it, and you can control it, and you can manage it. Violence is in a school as far back as you can think, so no nothing new. You understand? So if you say the new generation or new set of players, so them stay, I don't believe in that. Same bad pitting now, I same bad pitting then. However, then when the violent act was done, there was a disciplinary action we follow suit after, and everybody knows that after them 2-year fight, them are got them yard, them are get suspended or them are get expelled, or based on the level, then get 2 out of the strap. Right now, I don't know if school can do none of them, because as far as I'm concerned, no form of disciplinary action can be laid upon up in right now, because every child have a right to education. While I understand say the government hand tie because of international laws or policies and things when they ascribe to. But it's sad for say the Ministry of Education can't even come to a conclusion or lay certain disciplinary action to a child who misbehave. Much less we expect the local school or local authority of the school to act on it, because every action when we see them act, it against some other international policy. They can't beat again. They can't talk to the pitney hard. They can't, you understand? Too much something. You can't send them got them yard, because they send them got the yard as according to them, every child have the right for education. So I think we need to focus on how we can discipline the children without breaching these rights where the international people them say, because you don't want to get the great USA or these entity upset because they may do all kind of sanction pan we if we not follow suit. So I understand so the government kind of fear if take certain disciplinary action when it comes to certain things, decisions. So them kind of in a limbo. But one of my ideas when I can say, because if it is that you have to discipline them for lower the level of violence or as much as you can. And I think you can eradicate it. It would mean that you need to find some way of discipline them. What me have in mind, when you have a violent producer, a child, one or two, because another majority, one or two, bad egg them. You pop them out of the group, remove them, so them get expelled from the school just to see them. When you get expelled from the school, in most situations, you end up going home, or you find another school after hearing the incident or what take place, now want to take them. So in most cases, them that they're out of school, and then based on the rules and laws, them are going to say the child must get education. What the government need to do is create a education center, like a boot camp, where them use some serious people like the army or the army, as far as I'm concerned, use up the army. But if you enforce certain level disciplinary action, disciplinary behavior or disciplinary action on the child, or have them in a boot camp type of setting. You understand? So you might can deprive them of certain things like them phone or them little thing there. So the time them have a set time period, them can go up on them phone, them set time period, them forgot them bed, and a boot camp style. So most cases, most of them are gonna dislike it and I want to go back there if them do left. But make them stay there so and provide them the education. And if you provide them the education right there, so then it wouldn't be a breach of the international policy where every child have a right to education. Now right there so now, if they go there so they don't want to learn it, that for them business. You understand? As them reach the age, they just throw them out and then make the police deal with them in a society, the wider society as an adult. But if it is that we are going to allow the violent producer, the main violent producer, them in the school population, then it will naturally spread, because evil, as a evil stay or wrong, as a wrong stay. Once the monks are go, it will just spread. So the first thing you need to do, the violence producer, you need to remove them. And any disciplinary actions will take place, it must be that it publicized to the wider population and the school population that if you do, this is going to happen to you. So everybody then check and understand it. If you act, this is the disciplinary action that will take place, and not that you can do what you want to do and nothing come out of it. You understand me I say? While the whole situation require the parent to play a role, we all know that if at that we are going to depend on 99%, then I go so that kind of, but 95% of them percent of the parent and a good parent, and them not have an interest in the child life. So I don't think we relying on parents or requiring a certain action from parents in order to reduce the level of violence. If that we are going to rely upon, I mean, I believe it's going to happen. So the government have to find some means or some form of way for actions, for discipline, without the need of the parent. You understand? So if the parent, I don't know, change some policy. You have them liar boy, change some policy. If the child misbehave, the next school them can go a boot camp, but them can't stay at the school them. Just put things like that. That are mine. That are what me would I do if me they in a government. That if me have the authority and the power, would I remove them and thing. Get what I say? But as far as I'm concerned, I don't think nothing else can work. Nothing else. Because you can't rely upon the wider society to do the right thing. And I know for a fact that if we do a vote and Jamaica for decide, make a decision which is life or death, them are going to choose death. And funny, but me I tell you, my life depends on Jamaica. If you make a good decision, me I go dead. Me just know that. The fact that them I go vote, me know me I go dead, because the wider population, me don't know. I don't know what happened to it. And whatever we are seeing happen in the school society, whatever we are seeing in the school happen in the school population is just a reflection of the wider society. So other way for change it will change the society, and that now happen, or that is a more difficult thing. But what the school can do, Ministry of Education can do that. Create a couple boot camp, Middlesex, Surrey, and Cornwall. Set up boot camp in that them section of the island and misbehave children, you pack them up in there. If I one teacher to 100 students, so be it. You understand? Get one teacher I teach one whole auditorium and student, one class. If I so be the case, do it so. You get to me and say, I know the soldiers them for help monitor and help control the environment. Until so when people hear about them experience, or people realize that happen, most of them with a kind of being checked and I want to do. You might feel like you want to do, but you don't want to go to boot camp, you're not going to bother about the fight. You might want to say something, but you know so if you say it, you might end up at boot camp, you hold your mouth. You understand? And at the same time, me know for a fact that you got to have individual and go to boot camp and change. These students or these individuals now, when them change, the government will publicize these things. Show say this female, show the video where she broke her fight if there is a video, or tell her a story and how she changed now. Promote these things, put it on social media and all about the place and make people see. You understand? So promote the positive thing. You understand more and stop make the negative thing just run freely. So yeah, you can't stop a man from doing a thing, but at the same time you can oppose it with the positive. You understand? So that are my ideas to how them can address the violence. I don't think no other way can do it. Go tell the student for going on no corner and turn them back or what. I don't know. But the issue of discipline and that showed every all way I say I just lack of discipline.